Well, hello, good morning or afternoon. It's Tuesday, and I hope you're having a good week so far. So, I have some things that I want to discuss and talk about and that are on my heart. And I am going to be somewhat vulnerable, but it is what it is. That's just who I am. So, hopefully, I don't know, maybe this will help somebody. I don't know. This weekend, I did a pop-up market last minute at a local bar. And I met some really great people, precious people. Now, this was an outdoor event, and, there was chili everywhere, which was yummy. Of course, drinking, smoking, all the things you're going to find at a bar. And now I have cigarette smoke lodged in my sinuses. So all I'm smelling when I breathe is cigarettes. And that's what this video is going to be about. I hate it. I hate smelling it. I'm really annoyed and agitated by it. It's the price you're going to pay when you're doing those kind of events. It is what it is. So I'm not complaining. It's hard. It's hard. I am an ex-smoker and I am an ex-drinker. I could drink you under the table, and I was proud of that. And I smoked pretty much a pack a day for 2.5 years. That's all I did. I only did it for 2.5 years. I did it later, in my later 20s. I started smoking because I had a boyfriend that smoked, and I was so stressed. And I just started smoking. It was a vice. And then I got addicted like that. It makes me emotional when I think of the past and the years I wasted throughout my life on so many levels and so many things. I've wasted years of my life and even years of my daughter's life being addicted to things. I was addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to smoking. Now, only 2 years. At one point, I was really deep in. Thank God I never picked up drugs, but I was put on medications by doctors, which, who I am today, I wouldn't have even touched those. So, alcohol had a big, big hold on me. And I was becoming stronger in my walk with God and stronger in my faith. And as that was happening, and God was, I had left Catholicism, and God really started to move in my heart, and I started to learn more about who He was and who I was in Him, which I'm still learning, okay? This was many years ago. I started reading the Bible regularly. I started getting off of medications that doctors had me on, and that's a whole nother story that I'll tell another time. But I was literally sitting in a bar, drunk, wasted, and I was crying on the floor. I was with some people that were supposed to be my friends, but honestly, it just wasn't a healthy situation. And it just wasn't a good situation. And I ended up just losing it in the bar. I sat on the floor and I was sobbing and I was hitting a rock bottom. And at that point, I knew, because I had been heavily partying, okay? At that point, I knew that my life was never going to be the same. My friends were mad at me. I don't even know why. And I really wasn't picking healthy friendships because I wasn't healthy. So I knew I left that bar, and I knew that I was completely alone in this world, completely. Because I wasn't really I didn't really have family at that time. It was just me and Claire. And I went home. Actually, I went to that friend's house. They were somewhere else, because that's where we were staying that night. I fell asleep, sobbing and crying out to God and saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't live this way anymore. After that day, everything was different. Back then, you had MySpace. That was the only social media platform. I got off of everything for like 6 months. I didn't talk to people. Those friendships were basically over. And I dove into God. Hardcore dove into God. And do you know that literally after that night, where I cried out to him and I said, I can't do this anymore and I don't want to do this anymore. That next day that I woke up and I started to make the changes, I literally, just like that, was delivered from an alcohol addiction. Just like that. And what sparks this memory is the smoke and being around the alcohol this weekend. And just remembering that lifestyle and that I was living that heavily and even enjoying it for years. But yet I also wasn't enjoying it. I knew the whole time that it wasn't healthy. I knew that I was drowning. I knew that I was lost. I knew that I wasn't happy. I was miserable, really. That's the only thing that I've ever been truly delivered by God from. I mean, just like that, overnight I was delivered. I didn't want alcohol anymore. And after that time, I've only drank one other time where I got drunk. And that was over 10 years ago, and I hated it. And again, that was an emotional crutch. And I never picked it up again. I hate alcohol now. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I don't drink. I have not been a drinker in over 10 years. I do not drink ever, not even a sip. No. I don't have anything inside of me that craves it, that wants it, nothing. That's how you know it's God and you know it's a miracle, because I used to like drinking. I regret everything I ever did to my body. The cigarettes, I had to willfully choose to give those up. I was more addicted to cigarettes than I was alcohol. Cigarettes were my best friend. Literally, my best friend. It's the first thing I did when I woke up in the morning, and it's the last thing I did at the end of the day. If I was happy, I smoked. If I was sad, I smoked. Whatever. After a meal, I smoked. I smoked all the time. And I feel bad because at that time I was working in a really high-end salon, and I know I reeked of it. I regret smoking. I regret it now with my skin, getting these lines. I regret what it did to my cells, who I am today as a holistic, detoxification specialist and a personal trainer, and all the things I do in the wellness industry. It makes me tear up when I think about what I did to dishonor God and to dishonor my own body. Sorry for the lawn, guys. I dishonored my temple for years. Let's not even talk about how I ate. I ate horribly. And I won't lie, I miss it sometimes, the food part. But the alcohol and the smoking, I do not miss at all. All the drugs that doctors put me on, God, I would never have agreed to that had I known the truth. So when I see things like that and I see people my age, I'm 51, my age and older, and they're still partying and drinking and smoking and vaping. The vaping is so many people vaping, and I'm not trying to judge people. I'm just saying that as who I am today, I would never have done to my body if I would have been a healthier person emotionally. And it took God humbling me, and I'm still being humbled all the time, okay, by God on so many things. We get one body, and now that I do what I do for a living, and I see all the time really hard stuff. I see people's lives and their bodies going through really hard, yucky things. And I've dealt with it in my own life. You get one shot at this life, and you get one body. And how many times do we take for granted the gift that God gives us in our body? How many times do we say, it'll be fine? It's not going to be fine, you guys. You're always going to reap what you sow. Always. There will always be a consequence to the things that we do. And your body will absolutely respond to you and give to you what you give to it. And I am living proof of that. Because I've been struggling in my body for years because of what I did to my body. Oh, they're right here. I started this video because they weren't right here. Oh, anyway. It's going to hit you later in life if it's not already hitting you, okay? If you're my age, it's already hitting you, whether you feel it or not. I implore, if you do these things, and if you want to live, really live, not just get by, okay, but if you want to really live, because some people don't. I meet people all the time that are like, yeah, I don't care enough to change that. That's fine. That's fine. That's their choice. There's nothing that I can do to change that. There's nothing you can do. You cannot make somebody care about their health. You cannot make them care. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes a life or death situation for people to want to change. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work. But as for me, I refuse to allow my life here on earth to be that. And I refuse to dishonor God or myself or even my child by not taking care of myself. If I have a spouse, which I don't anymore, but if I did, to dishonor them as well. We have to take care of our temple, spirit, soul, mind, and body. And life gets in the way. I'm so busy right now, I can barely breathe. Which it's a good problem, but it's still stressful, and I have to manage my time because there's only one of me, and there's like a billion things to do. I'm very stretched, and I can't let the things that matter not happen. And that's easy to do. It's easy to just go to work and just forget about all the things I need to do, spirit, soul, mind, and body, but I can't. It hurts my heart when I think about what I did to myself. The beautiful thing is that I've changed. And I don't do those things anymore. And you don't have to do them either. And God can deliver you of anything if you so choose to be delivered. If you want it bad enough, He will take it from you. He can. If you want something badly enough, He will absolutely do that for you. I can't ever guarantee miracles, but it is very possible through faith. He'll give you the strength and the gumption to quit. When I quit smoking, I was white knuckling it, but I quit. I quit for my daughter. I didn't want to give her that legacy, and she hated it, and she rightly so. Awful, very selfish of me that I did that. So I quit. I wanted her to have a mom. That was all she had. She needed me, and it wasn't fair for me to drown my sorrows like that. And when we're drowning our sorrows, we're just band-aiding the real root cause. And ironically now, with everything that I do, with the soaps, lotions, salves, with the detox coaching, I am about getting to the root cause of the problem, not symptomology, not band-aiding. I'm about getting to the root cause. I don't care what dis-ease you have. I want to know why you have it. That's what I deal with. So, same thing goes in our heart and our mind. Any addiction is going to come from a mind and heart issue, not being connected to God, not being connected to the true King, not understanding who we are in Christ. That's how addiction occurs, and that's how it festers and grows and becomes a thing. This video is going longer than I'd like, so I'm going to stop here. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, I've been through a lot in my life. I'm not special. If God will do it for me, he will do it for anyone. And he will do it for anyone. And I still have things I need delivering from. I still have things I'm working on, especially mentally, emotional crutches, that lies we believe, things that you're trying to work through and figure out and understand. And, you know, you're going to always be working on self, but really what you're always should be doing is surrendering to God. It really isn't even working on yourself. What it really is surrendering, all of it, everything. You're just surrendering to God. That's really the truth. Not work, and do, and no. It's surrender. And when you finally surrender, like I did in that bar that night, many years ago, things can change. Surrendering is the key. Okay? I don't know if this will help somebody, but I hope it does. Love and blessings to you. If you need help, I'm here.